Hello and welcome to the P3 Powerboost podcast. I'm Lisa Thomas, your host, and we're going to be talking with real business women with real issues in real time who still have to perform on purpose and deliver with great expectation. We're here with Miss Carrie Peele, one of my faves in the business world, who's just committed to women everywhere. So I'm delighted, Carrie, that you're here. Why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about you?
Just a little bit of story on me, Lisa, and thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for having me. It's a privilege to be in your presence. In your presence.
Thank you.
Um, so, just a little story about me. I joke and laugh and say I'm unemployable, and most of us unemployable folks become entrepreneurs. I am known in the industry as a disruptor. You can't put me in the little box. You just can't figure out where I'm going. You just don't have a clue. So I'm just not the good box person. So when I was quite young, I was newly divorced and two little babies and didn't have two nickels to rub together. The short story on that, hey, I found three credit cards that had $5,000 each on cash advances on them. Took a little brown paper bag, walked into BB&T at that time, went up to the teller and said, I don't know how this worked, but I got three credit cards and I'd like to take $5,000 on each of these cards, $15,000, and I'd like them in $100 bills. And I'm going to give it to that man. Oh, by the way, put it in the brown paper bag. And then I'm going to give it to that man over there that's got that big black limousine. And I remember the teller saying, you really want to do this? And I said, absolutely. I really want to do this. And so, Lisa, the dear Lord looks out for fools like me every day. So many things could have gone wrong. A bad title, a scammer, whatever. But the dear Lord, like I said, looked out for me. And that was the first limousine that I ever purchased. Now, I will tell you it was wrong size, wrong color, wrong everything. But hey, we make mistakes in the first. Fast forward 20 some years, we built the largest woman-owned luxury transportation company in the South. Okay.
Yes.
I was fortunate enough to be able to run and win a board seat on our national platform, which was the National Limousine Association. And again, remember, I'm a disruptor, and the folks that were sat at the big table didn't quite agree with my thought process.
Sure.
And they kind of had the attitude, well, if you come and sit at this table, you're going to do what I tell you to do, say what I tell you to say, and vote the way that I tell you about. And that just didn't work. But anyway, but the interesting part about it, I was the first person ever thrown off of a national board in the 20 some years that the board had ever been. And which is, I always look at things in a way as there's a reason why I got thrown off of that board. And the reason was that I knew that there was a little company called Uber and Lyft, and our industry was not able to keep up on the technology. So I knew that this guy from Uber was going to be an incredible disruptor and would probably torpedo our industry. And that's exactly what happened. And at that moment, when I came home from that last board meeting, I said to my business partner, Miss Linda Sellers, we are getting ready to sell. We're getting out of this industry because it's going to change, and it ain't going to change for the good. And so we did spend the next couple of years, and this is what's a very important part that I want to share with your viewers, is when you know that you're going to sell, there is a process to that, Lisa, that will get you the results that you want. And you need to follow the process. It's just not calling a business broker, say, hey, come sell my business. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll share later on of what that process was and how it really worked for us. But anyway, we exited that company in 2014 very successfully. And we
Mm-hmm.
started, and I partnered with my brothers from another mother with Mako, and we're in the medical space. So medical labs, medical logistics, medical pharmacy, medical waste, medical documents. And that company now is in 43 states. We're very proud of what we do. We're a Christian company. We raise, we make money to give it away. We are an exceptional company that has a purpose for what we do and that we serve others. And, we support 81 missionaries around the world. That is one of the companies. Another one of the companies that we started is right in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the little story that I told you that no bank would give me any money, so I went
Yes.
for a credit card?
Yes.
I have a secret file in the back of my head that I just file things, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
stay there for years, 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 years.
Sure.
That always bothered me. Why wouldn't anybody give me any money? Why wouldn't any banking institution give me any money? I
Mm-hmm.
thought I had
Mm-hmm.
a great idea. I thought I was an industrious woman. I thought I was a think out of the box girl. I thought you should take it. You should take, take me serious. And
Yeah.
no financial institution would. So that's why I went the route of the 3 credit cards. And I found out that a lot of us women that start our own companies borrow from friends and families, cannot get bank loans. Oh my gosh. Venture capital, forget it. Okay, less than 1%. But anyway,
Yeah.
that little file just stayed in my head. And I said, there will be a time in my life that I am able to give back to women and minorities, and especially minority women entrepreneurs, because they are the ones that have the most difficult time finding capital to scale their business. So
Yes.
I'm playing in that space. My business partner, Dr. Lignano, and I started it in 2021. My job is to go out. I find investors. I found 12 investors. We put $800,000 into a fund. We turned around. We invested that $800,000 into 6 women. My business partner, who is the 1+1 girl, runs the spreadsheets. I mean, that's not my zone, but woo, is that hers? She tracked every bit of money that we invested in these women. And not me and not Lynn, but these women turned that 800,000 into $14.3 million.
Wow.
$14.3 million from an 800,000. Now, any
Yeah.
capital group would like, whoa, those are incredible numbers. Anybody would love those incredible numbers. But what we do,
Sure.
we also mentor these women.
Mm-hmm.
We mentor them every week. And it's not a mentoring of, are you paying us back, Lisa? It's a part of, okay, Lisa, tell me what your wins were this week. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Let's find that person in our network that can fix those things that keep you up at night. Let's do your cash flow. Let's do what's in your pipeline. We're like, go, Lisa, go. And I will tell you that women that are supported by other women can do just about anything.
Absolutely.
It's very lonely at the top and it's very lonely at the bottom. And we bridge those two by and sponsoring. So that, Jade, is what keeps me so jammed, and I love what we do. We're working on some other projects, and we closed Fund 1 at the end of 22, like I said, with a $14.3 million top line new revenue for these 6 women. We opened up Fund 2, and we're starting it all over again. So this is the part that we're feeling really good about.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, just hearing those numbers, you have to be proud. You go from 800,000 to 14 million. Those are numbers that, that's nothing to shake at. Congratulations, right? But you talked about a number of things in your intro, just sharing with us. And so it's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you here. When we work with our women, small business enterprises, they sometimes do have big dreams to build an enterprise that they can then sell later. And then we have those that just can't even imagine that possibility, right? They just can't think beyond today. And so you alluded to talking about, there's a strategy and there's a system and process to setting your business up to be ready to sell. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's speak to that woman, Carrie, who can't even think that beyond today, right? And I know you've probably seen some of those women, right, and work with them. I know we have. What would be sort of the mindset shift, or what would they have to start thinking about to be ready for something like that?
So
What would that take?
I will tell you the first thing that I share with women, and the first thing that I do. We just signed documents with 3 other partners of mine yesterday for a brand new business, and
Hmm.
we all got together. And do you know what the first question that we all asked each other
What was that?
is? When are we going to exit? When are we going to sell it? So that even before you buy it, you have to have a plan in place, Lisa, of what
Hmm.
is this company going to do for you? So
Hmm.
we have women that say, I just want a lifestyle business. Perfect.
Yep. Hmm.
I want a company that I can put my kids on the school bus. I can work it until they come home. Then I want to be a mom. And that's the most important. Mom is the most important. The old
Yes.
age when mama's happy, everybody's happy, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And getting back to how are we going to sell it? How long are we going to how long are we going to stay in it? If
Hmm.
you take on partners, you're being married to that partner. So you've got to get it out in the very beginning. And we've had very difficult conversations of what happens
Yes.
if I don't like you? What happens
Yeah.
if your opinion is not okay?
Hmm.
How are we going to solve that? Instead of solving it 2 or 3 years down the road, let's solve it in the very beginning. Let's just dump it all on the table. But for us
Hmm.
women that are solopreneurs, okay, again, the first thing that you want to ask yourself is, I've got this really great idea, and
Hmm.
let's just whatever. Um,
Hmm.
into the document business, let's just say that. Here is my business plan. And here is, how long am I going to keep it? When am I going to sell it? What are the determining factors of how I'm going to sell it? Because I
Hmm.
will tell you, Lisa, I never chase money, ever, ever. I chase
I
wins.
get it.
I chase wins.
Hmm.
I have to have 3 wins a day. And those
Uh-huh.
3 wins, and I have to have 3 blessings a day. So Lisa is my
Hmm.
blessing today. Okay. Lisa is
Huh.
sharing with me and allowing me to use my voice to share with others. You're a blessing
Sure.
today, right?
Sure.
All right.
Great.
So let's just take Mako documents. So what was the lesson that I learned from the first company that I sold? Well, in the first company that I sold, Lisa, think of a hunter. Think of, bow and
Hmm.
arrow guy, right? Bow and arrow woman. Let's use a woman. She gets up every
Hmm.
morning. She puts 5 or 6 arrows in her little pack, whatever they call that thing. Okay. And she goes out every day. She goes out to the turkey fields because there's a turkey field. And she goes out, she hunts, she shoots, she kills, and she eats that turkey. That's her dinner.
Hmm.
But then
Hmm.
she gets up the next morning and she goes out. She has to find the turkeys. She has to go kill them. And then she has to eat them because she
That's right.
doesn't have any way to do anything else. So, what the most valuable lesson that I learned from the first company is that I don't want to do that no more. I don't want to get up and hunt. I don't want to go to that field. I don't want to have to do the turkey calls. I don't want to have to shoot them. I don't have to want to dress them out. I don't want to have to bring them back, and I don't want to have to cook them every day. So what I share with women, okay, is find a company that you
Hmm.
have reoccurring revenue. Reoccurring revenue.
Yes.
Companies that have membership. That's why venture capitals, if you're a tech company and you have a membership model and it costs you $39.95 every month and they've got X amount of, memberships.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, you're like the cherry on the top of their cupcake because they have reoccurring.
Reoccurring revenue.
So
That's great. That's great, right? I think we'll pause right there, Carrie. I want us to take a slight break here just for a moment. But you've said some pretty incredible stuff in just like a few minutes, right? So it was two things I heard, and we'll come back and talk about it. One is you want a company that has the reoccurring revenue. You just talked about that. But you also talked about, even before you got there, it was, do you want to be the one to sort of slay this dragon every day, be the one to actually find it, make sure it's ready for cooking. That means kill it, right? Prepare it to be cooked, cook it, and then consume it and get back up again. That's huge in terms of an evaluation of your business opportunity, whether that's a dream you're dreaming about to start one, or if it's one you're buying. Is it something you want to stay in and only you can do it? I want to talk more about that when we come back, Carrie. That's awesome.
Thank you for listening to this segment of the P3 Power Boost podcast, where we discuss real issues for real businesswomen in real time. What you are about to hear is the internal dialogue of other businesswomen like you. Check it out.
Okay, what was my affirmation again? Stay focused. Stay focused. But you have a big meeting today. You know good and well you're not really ready for it. You're going to have to face this guy. I mean, I know he's been difficult and I know that he's challenging. He's your COO. He's a leader. He's not performing. But how do you lead in a way that will move the needle forward? Okay, that's right. I'm supposed to be saying affirmations. I am powerful. I am extraordinary. I am one of a kind. I mean, Jesus, it's going to be a tough day. This internal chatter that many bossy business women face is what we address within the P3 Group's program, LEAP. We create a strategic plan. We support your leadership team in coaching and educating them on being extraordinary leaders. But what about you as the CEO who's challenged by the team, by the growth of the company, by the change that you're going through, as well as the financials? This and all that women face is what we address within the LEAP program. Join us at leap.thep3group.com. So we're back with Carrie Peele with Jade Lending and Mako Documents. We were just talking about really what it takes to have a business or set a business up to sell. As you've heard, Carrie has sold a business. She's in a great business right now. Investment of $800,000 of a big win of $14 million. So who better to talk about what it takes to set your business up to sell? So we're going to continue this conversation. Carrie, when we took a break just a little bit ago, we just mentioned the wins. You had spoken about that earlier, and how you look for 3 wins, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that I mentioned as we spoke about that is, I think that is a fantastic idea, but would you suggest that those wins are designed for a reason for you? And if you say yes, what would that reason be?
So the reason I chase wins is that I don't chase money. If I chase money, I may dress in orange and in stripes, if you know what I'm saying. Okay.
Yes, I do.
So that, not that money makes you do crazy things, but sometimes it does. So first of all, women do not celebrate their wins. We do not celebrate. That is one thing that I love. This woman, Emily Parks, taught me so very long ago, is celebrate the little wins, journal them. And I do. I've got journals. I got stacks of years of journaling, of journaling my wins and my blessings. And so whenever you get to that point of going, what did I do today? Oh my gosh, look what I did today. I just keep on going back. But I want to go back just for a minute, Lisa, and I want to just share about the difference between the first company and the second company that I started.
Sure.
So the first company was just a passion of mine, and I didn't give it. I was in my 20s. I didn't give it a thought of pretty much so. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to take it? Does it have reoccurring revenue? Is somebody going to buy it? What is my multiplier? What's my cash flow? What's my pipeline? All these things. And so the first company was what I call, like, I've made every mistake in the world of a business owner, every mistake. But the beautiful thing about it is, Lisa, is what I really want to share is it is okay to make a mistake, but you only make it once.
Yes.
You only make
That's
it
right.
and you learn and you don't do it again. And so
That's right.
when the second company came along, or when Mako documents came along, everybody went like, oh, you were in this exciting world, and you know, you had celebrities and all of that, and the world was just so shiny in your business. And then you went into this medical document.
Yes.
And people said, how are you going to do it? I said, well, let me just share about medical documents. Okay. Every morning I get up and I put on my little backpack with my arrows and I go out into the field and I shoot the turkey, as they say, and I bring it back and I hunt, I get it, and I eat on that turkey for 10.26 years. 10.26 years. Well, isn't that nice?
Yes.
That means if I want to take a day that I just want to go play with my grandchildren, I don't have to go out and hunt that day. I still have 10.26 years on that little deal right there that I can go to the freezer and just get a bunch of frozen food out, right? Right. So so that's what I'm talking about, reoccurring revenue. Documents, I love documents. It's
Sure.
sexy business. It's pretty boring. You know, we don't have excitement, but it's 10.26 years, and the multipliers on it are 5x because it's reoccurring revenues and there's contracts involved and there's really good cash flow and there's really good pipeline. And that is what I learned on the first one. And that is, if women go in with that attitude of, and not, I'm not, you know, if you're really good at making cupcakes, and I'm just saying,
Sure.
passion, just think of it is how we're going to get a membership, how we're going to get reoccurring revenue, what sets me apart from everybody else, how am I going to market that, and then surround yourself, Lisa, and this is the most important thing of what I share with women, is surround yourself with women who do not look like you, do not act like you, have nothing in common with you whatsoever. And for that word called diversity, equity, and inclusion, which means
That's right.
different thinkers, different attitudes. Everybody looked like the Lisas and everybody looked like the Carries. It would not be good.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. So find your team. Find the disruptors in your team that challenges you. You. I had a conversation today with a gentleman who was in charge of a huge Fortune 100 company. And and since I haven't asked him permission yet, I won't say his name. But one of the things he did was that he was in charge of a project that involved young people. And he said he put this 22-year-old young girl involved for the project, right? And so she came and she said, you know, she brought him the plan. She brought him, and he said, this is really edgy. This is, I don't know, we're really pushing the envelope. I'm just not liking it. And she said to him, but you're not the market. The market that you asked me to go after is the young 20 to 30-year-old market. And this is what we like. And I funded the project. It it took off like a hockey stick. And so don't involve yourself with folks that don't think like you, that challenge you, and that you don't have a problem. And you say, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives you a new perspective, right? It just gives you a different perspective to have other people that don't look like you, don't think like you. You made a couple of points though, Carrie, that I think it's also important to underscore, right? So there was a business where you had the heart for it, you were passionate about it, and then you've got this other business, kind of boring, but you've got this long-term reoccurring revenue. You can have a life that you love and be completely expressive, right? So I certainly see the value. One of the most important pieces you said, and I want us to get this, one of the important pieces is you got to have recurring revenue.
Yeah.
But before we even go there, is it possible to have a business that you love? I know the answer to this. Business that you love that has reoccurring revenue that is primed for and positioned for sale.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I think the thinking is if you're going to do it and you're passionate about it, and you tell me how you feel about this, it has to be something that can be scaled, that has reoccurring revenue, or at the very least, you take your passion and think from this place to be sure that it has reoccurring revenue, long-term reoccurring revenue. It has the ability to be scaled, meaning you can replicate that long-term revenue, and you have a process and a system for that. You have a sales process for it, all of that.
And you know your buyer. So before I even started Mako, I knew who my buyer was going to be. I knew exactly the criteria of how many boxes I needed to have in my warehouse. I knew the exact number of scanning images that I needed to have, the shredding contracts that I had to have. I knew that. And Lisa, I'll tell you what I did. So one of my guilty pleasures, I want to say guilty pleasures, is having my house cleaned every 2 weeks. That is like, oh, my cleaners come in. It smells like fabuloso. I just love it. I just love it. But I needed that win, what I call my win. So when I started Mako, I said, I'm going to get to this many boxes. I'm this amount of sales, this much money in the. I knew the formula, and I said I have to give something up. So whenever I win, I give it back. That's what drove me every day, because I was scrubbing toilets. There's nothing wrong with that now on Saturday morning at 5:00 during the time I was building my business, right? Because I need something to grab onto and say, the numbers that I want. And when I get those numbers, I know that I have succeeded on my process of getting it ready to go. And I can have my crystal bath and my fabuloso on my kitchen floor.
I love that though. I love that. Incentivize yourself, right? Incentivize yourself. Incentivize yourself.
It wasn't a trip around the world. It wasn't anywhere. It was just getting my house clean the way that she does it, because I could never do it the way that she does. So anyway, that's a fun little fact.
I love that. I love that. One other question I'm going to ask, because again, I keep hearing this, be sure that you can scale it. Be sure that it has reoccurring revenue. Incentivize yourself. I did hear that. Those quick wins and things like that are great things to have to motivate you every day, right? So that you're not putting on the orange suit and pushing yourself so hard, right? You have some other things that you can motivate you towards. But there's also, I think, and you tell me, how do you begin to, if you start your business where it's dependent on you and you're slaying that turkey, how do you reduce your dependency?
Oh, that's easy. Like I said, so this is one thing that I follow, and it's called the traction book. Okay.
Love it.
We follow that. That is the process. So if we run all of our companies, all of the women that we lend to at Jade Lending, now there's 8 of them, they all follow the traction. Any new company that we do, it's just the process. And it doesn't, Lisa, make any difference whether or not we're selling luxury sheets, whether
I get it.
we're in the distribution of food, whether or not we're in documents, whether or not we're in plumbing, it doesn't matter. It's the process. And when your core team, executive team, is working that process on a level 10 meeting every week, Carrie and the Lisas can step out and the team can take over because it's very transparent. And that is one thing that women are very good at, is transparency, meaning
Yes.
that I don't mind sharing my revenues with my team. They need to know it, because
Sure.
in our world, a lot of folks think that we just make all this money. We make all the money. They forget of expenses, liabilities, the risks that we take, the
Yes.
notes that we've signed, that we've put up our houses, we put up our firstborn, we put up our grandchildren, right? And so this is the way that you say, hey, this is the top line, this is the bottom line, and this is what our pipeline looks like. So folks, we are here, all of us, and all of your opinions count. And that's what Gino Wickman did for all of us. And there's a lot of us that work on that platform of traction. So
no, that's great. No, that's great. It's certainly a book that I recommend as well. And I love that, because in that gives you a very systematic way to begin to reduce your participation in your business. And to your point, sharing the totality of the business with the team gives them access, because you're exactly right. We do carry the burden of the responsibility and expenses of it.
And with many companies, multiple companies that I have, and all the women that we mentor and that sort of thing, my time is very precious. So it's very, very important that this team knows where we're going, how we're going to get there, what are our rocks, what are we doing in 1 year, what are we doing in 2 years, what are we doing in 5 years. This team over here has to know. And when everybody works together, it to the common good. And the other is that you'll also find who in your team is not working, okay? And that may need to be replaced, and maybe is not the right butt in the seats. That is a very big, important, and when you get that team together, you keep them together, you keep them engaged, and you tell them every day, I appreciate you, thank you so very much. And I'm good at that anyway. So there you go.
Yeah, that's great. So yes, absolutely. The importance of the powerful team that you put together. You mentioned also, Carrie, that in the initial stages, you want to identify who's going to buy, potential buyers, right? What is that research like? How does one go about doing that, would you say?
So let's just, give me a topic. Let's see. Let's figure out, if I was in the world of I don't want to give anybody that I'm working with, because I don't want to.
I know, right? Exactly.
Keep that to my chest here. Let's
say, I don't know. Maybe it's a law firm or accounting firm, CPA firm. I don't know.
Okay.
Something like that.
CPA firm. So the other thing, Lisa, that you have got to do in your business, women are very good at this. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a woman that has been on our team for a very long time. Her name is Marilyn Majette. She's out of Jamaica. Okay. Do you love this woman? She is in Jamaica. Okay. And she is an accountant. I call her my forensic accountant. I call her the woman that knows the numbers. And so let me just share a quick little story. So I was going to buy a company by acquisition. Okay. I was going to buy all of their product. Now he was selling to me. I was the one that he said, I want her to buy me. Right.
Okay.
We signed the NDA, asked him for his financials, all of that. And I never even looked at the financials. I sent him off to Jamaica, to Maryland. I said, Maryland, look at this. Look at these. And Marilyn comes back and says, 1 plus 1 ain't equaling 2 here.
Okay.
What are you talking about? He said, he has a second set of books. And I went back to the gentleman and said, did you give me the only set of books, the financials that you
Mm-hmm.
have? And he said, no, I have a second set of books that only the IRS sees. And I said, thank you very much.
Yes, right.
Bye. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So the story on that is your books have to be impeccable. If you're going to sell a company, it has to be transparent. You can't be using these funds for this company and these funds for this. You can't be shelling out money to your children. It has to be right. And the reason why it has to be right is because the process of selling your company is very painful. Is very painful. When I sold a company, it was all in complete secrecy because some folks didn't agree with it. And as soon as they found out that I was selling to another company in the same industry, they didn't know who the boss was. Is it going to be me or is it him? And they started turning on me pretty quick.
Wow.
It was ugly. They found it out through a very simple little email. And selling a company, you can turn it around in 5 days. I can own it today and Lisa can own it by Friday. There you go. Simple. You have all your financials done. You have everything. It's a really quick transaction. He gives you money. You give him assets. You take your little pocketbook and walk out. And everybody's happy. He keeps the team. You always insist. And you write it in your contracts that they keep the team for a period of time. You know, they don't want to change it. But anyway, so selling your business is very, very painful. And if you think that won't happen, it does. It does.
Wow.
And it does.
Yeah. I can only imagine the stress of it all, right? So you've got attorneys and you've got, all these negotiations and how that sale could manifest. You could be a possibility of being in the business for a while. You could sell it outright, take the cash and be gone. I mean, there's so many layers to the actual sale. We'll have to have another show for that one. But I think women need to know that, right? Because the vulnerability of starting a business is one thing, particularly if you do it, from the space of your heart and you're working in it every day. Then you discover through traction, right? There's a process and system for building the business. And then you get to the end and you're met with all of this big negotiation and how that, could turn out. You're thinking you sell the business for 50 million, you end up with 4 somehow. Like, how did that happen? Right?
There you go.
And so that's something that we need to educate ourselves on, Carrie. As women business owners, we lack that information and education. And it's one of the reasons why we have this show. Go ahead.
And honestly, the best money spent, and I'm a big advocate. When I mentioned Marilyn, she's third party. She's not really in our team. She's out there. But spending your money on folks that have a zone of genius that you do not have. And then you may think, oh, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. Or I know how to do this research. Or I'm buying another company. And so I think I can do this. Hire the people that have the zone of genius that you do not have. I'm telling you, it is the best money spent. And when you're in a space, everybody does third party anymore. They don't keep it in house. And so you can call me because honest to gosh, email me, text me, message me on Facebook. And I probably have somebody in our network that has a zone of genius that is exactly
that you need.
exactly what
Yeah.
you need. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, it's been fantastic having this conversation, Carrie. I know that we've covered so much, and for a woman who's trying to sell the business, what would you say your final like big aha moment was for you in your sale? What was your biggest aha moment? That's the first question. And the second one is, what do you want to leave the audience with?
Sure. So, one of the big aha moment is I did it. Okay. I did it. I did it. It took a long time. It was from the very first day when I walked into BB&T with my brown paper bag and the money, put in it, is we came a long way. And the journey was an amazing ride. The journey with the team was an amazing ride, but it always comes to an end. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the other aha moment is, what are we going to do next? I'm always about the next big adventure. I am always about the next big adventure and finding the men and women to be on that adventure to change the lives of folks. And it really, and anybody that we start a business, you're changing their lives. You're feeding families. You're in charge of, on Friday when they take that check to the bank, that it cashes. There's an immense pressure on you, an immense pressure. But always have, here's what I would say, is that only do business with people you like, and always have fun at what you're doing. And
fantastic.
You can't go.
That's great advice. That is fantastic and great advice. I couldn't have said that better. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your infinite wisdom. It has been such a delight. It always is to have you in our corner here at P3, and also to just hear you share your story. So thank you so much for joining us. Scaling your business requires innovation sometimes. You have to learn to color outside of the lines. It means you have to take a leap into unfamiliar territory. So many businesses, just like yours, are taking the leap. Join us so you can leap into profits. Leap.thep3group.com